Welcome to our exploration of the present moment, the powerful now, and how it can dramatically shift your reality. In this first section, we are going to focus on understanding the present moment deeply. The now is often overlooked. We get caught up in the memories of yesterday or the projections of tomorrow, and in the process, we miss the fullness of what is right before us. But what if I told you that this very moment holds the key to a profound transformation? The truth is, the only time that truly exists is the present. The past is but a collection of nows that have already slipped away, and the future, a series of nows yet to come. Consider the weight of your thoughts. Often our minds are tumultuous oceans, waves of past regrets and future anxieties colliding and churning. This mental storm clouds our perception. When we bring our focus back to the present, the storm begins to still. The water becomes clear. In this clarity, we find the space to respond to life rather than react. Reaction is often rooted in the unresolved issues of the past or the feared imaginings of the future, whereas response is the conscious, deliberate choice made in the quiet of the now. Let's take a moment to experience this. Notice your breath as it enters and leaves your body. Feel the sensations of your feet on the ground, the air on your skin, the sounds around you. This is the now. It isn't laced with judgment or expectation. It simply is. Every moment you become aware of the now, you step into a realm of infinite possibilities. Why? Because the present moment isn't confined by the past. It's the space where we can choose differently, act differently, and in doing so, begin to weave a new reality. The power of the present moment also lies in its ability to break the chains of habit. Our lives are often a series of habitual behaviors. We wake up, brush our teeth, go about our day, largely without thinking. These habits over time create the structure of our reality. But when we become present, truly present, we step out of habit and into choice. We can ask, is this action, this thought, this feeling, contributing to the reality I wish to inhabit? If the answer is no, we have the power to change it, right there in the now. Let's talk about the role of attention. Where we put our attention grows in our life. If we focus on fear, lack, and limitation, that becomes the landscape of our experience. The present moment offers us a chance to shift our attention and therefore to grow new experiences in our lives. But this requires us to be intentional about where we are placing our focus. Are you nurturing the seeds of joy, peace, and abundance in the garden of your mind, or are you allowing the weeds of negativity to overrun it? Now consider the emotional landscape of your life. Emotions are powerful indicators. They show us what we're holding on to from the past and what we're apprehensive about for the future. By acknowledging and feeling our emotions in the now, we can begin to understand and eventually release them. This release is essential because it frees us from emotional patterns that unconsciously dictate our actions and reactions. When we process our emotions in the moment, we prevent them from spilling over into the next and the next. We stop the cycle of emotional reactivity and open up a new pathway for emotional creativity. How different would your life look if each of your emotions were met with understanding and compassion as they arose? Now, let's consider something deeply significant: the nature of change. Change is the only constant, and yet our human minds often resist it. We cling to the known, the comfortable, even when it no longer serves us. But in the present moment, we are in the optimal state to embrace change. The now isn't static. It's a flowing river, and like water, it is most powerful when it moves. When we align ourselves with the movement of the now, we become adaptable, flexible, and open to the new shapes our lives can take. In the stillness of the present, we also find the roots of gratitude. Gratitude is not simply a feeling, it's a frequency that we tune into. When we are grateful for the now, we send out a signal that amplifies everything we appreciate. This signal has the power to transform our reality by changing the way we experience and interact with the world. Have you ever noticed how gratitude shifts your energy, how it changes the way others respond to you, and how it creates a feedback loop of positivity in your life? As we close this first part, I invite you to integrate the practice of being in the now into your daily life. It's a simple practice, but it's not always easy. It requires discipline and mindfulness. It requires us to be fully in whatever we are doing, whether it's washing dishes, talking to a friend, or sitting in silence. In the next part of our exploration, we dive into the transformative power of acceptance in the present moment. Acceptance is a cornerstone in the foundation of a reality that is not only bearable, but vibrant and full of potential. The transformative power of acceptance and the path to mindful resilience. When we talk about acceptance, we often misunderstand it as a form of passive resignation. But true acceptance is active. It is the recognition of things as they are without an overlay of judgment or resistance. Acceptance does not mean that we want or endorse everything in our present reality, but it allows us to engage with life on life's terms. From this place of acceptance, we can then decide how to act, channeling our energy into making positive changes rather than wasting it in denial or futile resistance. Reflect on the last time you faced something undesirable or challenging. Did you spend more time resisting the reality of the situation or working with it? Often, it is our resistance to what is that creates more suffering than the situation itself. It's like being caught in quicksand. The more we struggle, the deeper we sink. When we stop, take a breath, and accept our circumstances, we can start to look for solid ground to pull ourselves out. Acceptance also involves a degree of trust. Trust that whatever is happening in the now is what is supposed to be happening for our growth and evolution. This doesn't imply a passive destiny. Rather, it's an acknowledgement that our journey includes this moment, with all its imperfections, as a stepping stone to the next. Trusting the process of life can be challenging, but it is also liberating. It opens us to the flow of experiences, allowing us to learn and grow from everything that comes our way. Now consider the energy of resistance. It is tight, contracted, and heavy. When we resist the present moment, we close ourselves off from the flow of life. We become like a dam in a river, creating a blockage and causing stagnation upstream. But when we practice acceptance, we remove the dam. We allow the river to flow freely, bringing fresh water that nourishes everything in its path. Can you feel the difference in your body when you resist versus when you accept? Acceptance is also intimately tied to our personal power. When we resist the moment, we give away our power to whatever we are resisting. We become victims of circumstance. However, when we accept the moment, we reclaim our power. We say, "This is my reality right now, and I have the power to choose how I respond to it." This is not a power that controls or dominates. It's a power that liberates and creates. The journey towards acceptance can be supported by a simple yet profound practice: mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and the surrounding environment. It encourages us to witness our reality without criticism or attachment. This witnessing is transformative. It gives us the clarity to see our current reality and the space to choose our path forward consciously. Mindfulness also teaches us about impermanence. Everything in the now is in a state of flux, constantly changing. When we understand this, our grip on the present moment loosens. We become less attached to specific outcomes and more open to the dance of life. In this dance, each step is guided by the music of the moment, and each movement is an expression of our deepest self. As we practice acceptance, we might encounter inner resistance. This is natural. Our egos are built on identification with the past and projection into the future. They are threatened by the power of the now because it means the release of control. But here lies an opportunity for inquiry. What part of you is resisting? What is it trying to protect? By gently exploring these questions, we can begin to dissolve the barriers we've erected against the present. We must also consider the role of forgiveness in acceptance. Forgiveness is the act of letting go of the past. It's a profound return to the now. When we forgive, we release the emotional chains that bind us to a moment that no longer exists. This release is a doorway back to the present, where we can shape our reality with clear intention and renewed energy. As we conclude this part, I encourage you to practice acceptance every day. It could be as simple as accepting the weather, the traffic, or your current emotional state. With each act of acceptance, notice the shift in your energy and the expansion of possibilities in your reality. Remember, the present moment is your ally, not your adversary. It is the canvas on which you can paint a brighter, more vibrant reality. Cultivating presence and manifesting intentions. Through mindful action moving forward in our journey, let's now delve into the transformative power of presence and action in the now. This third part is about the dynamic interplay between being present in the moment and taking intentional action that aligns with our deepest values and desires. Taking action in the present moment is often misunderstood. It is not about being busy or filling every moment with activity. It is about being fully engaged in whatever action you are taking, with an awareness of your intention and purpose. This quality of action is infused with a sense of presence that magnifies its impact and aligns it with your broader goals. Think about a time when you were completely absorbed in an activity you loved. Time seemed to stand still, and you were one with the action you were taking. This state, often referred to as flow, is a powerful example of presence in action. In this state, our actions are not only effective but also deeply satisfying. We are not thinking about the past or worrying about the future. We are fully alive in the now. When we act from a place of presence, we bring our whole self to the task at hand. There is no division in our attention. This unity of purpose and action has a resonance that extends beyond the mere completion of tasks. It imbues our actions with quality and depth that can be felt by others and which can have a ripple effect on the world around us. Consider how often our actions are fragmented by distractions or undercut by doubts and fears. When our attention is scattered, our actions lose their power. They become half-hearted and ineffective. The antidote to this is mindfulness. When we are mindful, we gather all our scattered energies and focus them into the action at hand. We become like a laser beam, cutting through distraction and doubt with precision and clarity. The power of now also lies in its capacity to illuminate the next step. When we are present, we do not need to see the entire path ahead. We trust that by taking the next step with full attention and intention, the following steps will reveal themselves in time. This is the essence of faith, not blind belief, but an active trust in the unfolding of our life's path. Now think about the goals and dreams that stir your soul. To bring them into reality, you must align your actions in the now with those visions. It is easy to become overwhelmed by the magnitude of our dreams, but every journey begins with a single step. What single step can you take right now that moves you towards your dreams? It need not be grand, but it must be deliberate and infused with the energy of your intentions. Presence in action also calls for a balance between effort and surrender. While it is essential to act, it is equally important to know when to let go and allow life to take its course. This balance is not static. It is a dance of knowing when to push forward and when to flow with the currents of life. When we find this equilibrium, our actions become more graceful and less forced. Let's also explore the concept of alignment in our actions. Alignment means that our actions are in harmony with our values, beliefs, and true selves. When we act out of alignment, there is a sense of discomfort or dissonance. This is a signal for us to pause and recalibrate. By returning to the present and reassessing our intentions, we can redirect our actions towards greater alignment and coherence. Presence and action in the now also require us to be adaptable. Life is constantly changing, and what worked yesterday may not work today. By staying present, we remain receptive to new information and perspectives that can inform our actions. We become like the martial artist who uses the energy of the opponent to their advantage, fluidly adapting to the dynamics of the moment. In practical terms, presence in action means doing one thing at a time with full attention. It means listening deeply when someone is speaking, rather than planning what you will say next. It means eating with awareness, savoring each bite, rather than mindlessly consuming your meal while distracted by other things. It is these simple acts of presence that accumulate and create a profound shift in our reality. As this part comes to a close, reflect on how you can bring more presence into your actions. Can you dedicate yourself to fully engaging with your work, your relationships, and your self-care practices? Can you commit to reducing multitasking and instead do one thing at a time with all your heart? These are the steps that lead to a life lived fully in the now, a life where each moment is an opportunity for conscious action and transformation. In the next and final part of our journey, we will explore the integration of all that we have discussed into a harmonious whole. We will see how presence, acceptance, and action in the now can be woven together to create a tapestry of a life lived with depth, purpose, and joy. The symphony of now, harmonizing presence, acceptance, and action. As the crescendo to our journey, we reach the final movement where all the elements we have explored converge into a grand symphony. In this part, we shall see how presence, acceptance, and action in the now coalesce to form a living masterpiece that is our life. The idea of life as a symphony is not new, but it is profoundly apt. A symphony is composed of multiple distinct instruments, each with its own timbre and voice, all coming together under the guidance of the conductor to create something far greater than the sum of its parts. Similarly, our lives are a blend of thoughts, feelings, experiences, and actions, all orchestrated by the self that seeks coherence and meaning. The first movement of our symphony is presence. Our awareness is the conductor, attuned to each moment, ensuring that every note is played with intention and attention. Presence is the foundation upon which the rest of the symphony is built. It brings depth and richness to the music of our lives, allowing us to fully experience the melody of the present note before it fades into the next. Our second movement is acceptance. This is the harmony that underlies the melody, the chords that accept and support the tune. Acceptance allows us to embrace each note as it is, without trying to change it or wishing it were different. It is the peace that comes with acknowledging the reality of now, whether it is a note of joy or a dissonant chord of sorrow. The third movement is action. Action is the rhythm, the driving force that propels the symphony forward. It is the careful articulation of each note, the deliberate pace and intensity with which it is played. Action is the manifestation of our will in the world, the visible expression of our inner music. When we bring presence, acceptance, and action into alignment, our lives resonate with clarity and purpose. This alignment is the very heart of our symphony. It is not a static state, but a dynamic process, a continual attunement to the evolving music of our existence. To live this symphony is to recognize that we are both the composer and the performer of our lives. We have the power to write new melodies and to change the tempo or key as we see fit. But we are also the players, responsible for bringing the music to life through our actions and expressions. The Symphony of Now invites us to live with a sense of wholeness and integration. Our thoughts, emotions, and sensations are acknowledged as part of the music, not as distractions to be silenced. We learn to listen to the subtle cues, the quiet whispers of intuition, and the loud crescendos of emotion, using them all to enrich our performance. In practical terms, living the Symphony of Now means cultivating practices that keep us attuned to our inner conductor. It might mean setting aside time for meditation or reflection to deepen our presence. It might involve journaling or dialogue to foster acceptance. And it might call for setting clear intentions and goals to guide our actions. But above all, the Symphony of Now is about listening to the music within us and around us. It's about being attuned to the rhythms of life, to the rise and fall of experiences, and to the interplay of our inner and outer worlds. As we conclude this journey, consider how you can orchestrate your own Symphony of Now. How can you bring more presence into each moment? How can you practice acceptance of what is, without resistance? What actions can you take that are in harmony with your true self? And how can you listen more deeply to the music of your life? Living the Symphony of Now is an art and a practice, one that unfolds and evolves over a lifetime. It is a path of continual learning, tuning, and growth. As each of us finds our unique rhythm and melody, together we contribute to the grander orchestration of humanity. May your life's symphony be rich and fulfilling, resonating with the beauty of presence, the peace of acceptance, and the power of action, all harmoniously woven into the eternal now.